from 61 balls, but really there was very little else above them other than De Quella's nice breezy start, 31 of 24. They only managed 236, did Sri Lanka, on a ground where the average first innings score is 244, but that's not a score to win, remember. Now India bowled well, although Jasprit Bumrah showed all the variety that he has with him, 4 for 43, but the spinners were good. 2 for 43 to Yuzvendra Chahal, and once again Akshar Patel had a good day, 10 overs, 1 for 30, but the concern was the injury to Hardik Pandya, who went off after bowling 5 overs, really good overs though, and then just bowled 2 overs in his second spell, 1 for 24. Bhuvneshwar Kumar didn't quite have a great day. Now then, play will start at 8 o'clock, that's about 20 minutes from now, that's an hour and 15 minutes after it should have started, but you can make up an hour, so effectively you only lost about 14 or 15 minutes, and that is why we've only lost 3 overs in this game. 47 over game now with a target of 231, so India have got to make 6 runs less in 3 overs less, and then the rest sort of sorts itself out. 2 bowlers can bowl 10 overs, 3 can bowl 9. Power play is 1 to 10 and then 39 to 47. The effective power play, the middle overs are 11 to 38. So there we are. Last time I was with you, I was looking straight down here, but looking with a bit of concern to my right. I can look right now with much joy, because it's looking pretty nice now at the moment, and very soon, there you are, we've got a shot there to show you what it's looking like, and very soon we'll have play starts. As you would have realized by now, Murali Karthik is here, so is Ajay Jadeja. 236 was not a scary total by any means.
And not in this day and age,
Yes.
maybe 30 years ago it was a scary total, but 300 is a par these days. You see people chasing down 350 pluses with the new rules, new balls, quality of bowling that's around. Most people play 4 bowlers in the 5th. Bowler's always a makeshift bowler who's making up for those 10 overs. So wicket taking ability isn't around as much as it used to be, and I think this total isn't as scary as
I mean, the only way India can blow this game is to lose wickets early and then are picked back in defence, like we saw in that freak game in the West Indies.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's how Sri Lanka would be thinking, because every time they've tried to get defensive, and that's what we have seen right through the series, whether it was the test matches or even in the first game, you know that India is going to boss the game, and that's exactly what they've done. So who do they have? Do they have that kind of a teeth in their bowling to just blow India away, especially the way they've been playing? Yes, that man there on the screen has been a potent force for a very, very long time, but does he have people around him? Does he have it in him now to get through that spell of 10 intense overs? So India has not been challenged at all.
He's been a magnificent cricketer, Lasith Malinga. I'm a huge fan of Malinga over the years. He's big in India as well because of the fantastic work he's done with the Mumbai Indians. I asked him once when I met him, I said, how does it feel to go to another country and have a packed house chant Malinga? And I think he thinks of himself after Sri Lanka as being a Mumbai Indians player as well. But the big debate going round, not just in this country but everywhere, is how much longer Malinga. He's been a freak bowler and he's been magnificent for Sri Lanka, but how much longer? Do you see signs that the best is clear, the best is behind it?
Look, I mean, we saw Malinga in 2004 or 5 first time, and with that action a lot of people believe that he will probably not last this long, he'll have injuries, which has been the case. I mean, he's had injuries, but he has his unique style of bowling. Yes, of course, anybody who gets along and is getting older would slow down, or the body doesn't have the strength that you have. But a couple of things, it's not just him. You think of Malinga days when he played for Sri Lanka. You had a Murali who would follow him. You'd have a Vas who would support him at the other end, and there were other bowlers. Yeah. Now what looks like with the Sri Lankan team is that Malinga is the only man that you need to counter. There were days where Malinga would not have a good spell at the start, but then Murali would wave his magic and get a couple of wickets, and then he had to come and do a role of a different kind. He picked up 1 wicket or 2 wicket here and there, and he would still make that impact. But now you see Malinga has to make that impact at the top. Then he has to come in and just not too far. Go back to the last game, which was a small total 210. He bowls 3 overs from one end. They've got a partnership going. He comes back in over number 9, and then he's bouncing. Then he's trying out things because his role has changed. And I think when you are a only bowler left, it does take a lot away from you, because there isn't a spell where you have a chance to get back into rhythm. So if you're struggling, you don't have a choice, because there's nobody else supporting you as well.
Once the swing died out with the new ball, Malinga's wicket-taking balls were the Yorker and the slow ball, and the slow ball was potent because the Yorker was coming to you at 140.
Correct.
Since the Yorker started coming at 132, 135, the slow ball is not as much of a variation.
Correct.
And therefore is now less potent than it used to be.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why you can possibly say that the word you used is that is he as effective as before. Obviously, with that kind of different action, the oddity or the fact that the batsmen were not able to pick was also because of the fact that the pace at which it came. So once that goes away, then things become slightly easier for you. It's not as if they're still bossing him or dominating him. But yeah, obviously the change in pace, the difference in pace between the faster one and the slower one, with that kind of an action where you can't pick, the illusion which he created because of the difference in that pace is not there any longer.
Yeah, and it's not easy when you get to Malinga's stage in his career to come back from injuries. Now, in the first one-day international, look, largely you're seeing green there. Green is 125 to 135. There's no red, there's no yellow either. So he's bowling between 125 and 135, and the variation is the blue ball. That's 110 to 125. Yeah. Whereas earlier you would see a fair sprinkling of yellow in Malinga's pitch maps.
In fact, many reds as well, and many reds, and again it's a tough action because he runs in, literally there's a big pause at the delivery stride where he pivots through that action with that slingy arm, with a low arm, and once with the injuries and all that, are you getting through the crease at the same pace as you used to? And then obviously with the change of pace, which was a lot slower and a lot more potent, which actually felt like it was coming like a flighted delivery, even in spite of having a low arm, I think it's not there any longer.
Now, averages tell you how frequently you're taking wickets. I mean, average strike rate combination there. Now, the Champions Trophy, he played 3 matches for 3 wickets. Overall in 2017, he's got 7 wickets from 10 matches. He is a stone's throw away from 300 one-day international wickets, but he needed what? I think he needed 5 when the Zimbabwe series started. He's played 6 games for 3 wickets. Part of the reason the Sri Lankans say is that they're not holding catches of his bowling anymore.
Yeah, I can remember we were talking about it, and I think there were a couple of catches dropped against Pakistan at a crucial stage when he came back to pick those wickets. So yeah, the stats always don't tell you all the story. They tell you what happened and then what the game ended up with.
That we'll hear from them. But what I wanted to pick your brain about also was coming back from injury. When you're at Malinga's stage, if you have a knee injury, he missed about 19 months, then he came back, played T20, really now started playing one-day internationals. It gets more and more difficult to come back, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because you're never the same. You always have at the back of your mind that you're coming back from an injury. Am I as good as it was before? And for many people, the rehab is a tough, long time, and also the quality of the rehab, how efficiently you have finished it and come back. And again, we just see or hear injury. We don't know the extent of the injury or the gravity of that injury and what all a player has gone through to come over it and come back to play.
In fact, he gave up Test crickets quite a few years ago, so he's been carrying it for a very long time. And as a result, I think the Indians have also admitted that because he's slower through the air, they're now taking chances against him of the kind they wouldn't imagine taking before. So let's hear 2 sides of it from the Indian camp, from Virat Kohli, and from the South African coach, that's Nick Pothas.
Malinga's a leader in the change room. When I look at Lassit Malinga, I don't purely look at what he can do with the ball. I also look at what he does for the young bowlers within the change room, and we have got a young mob of them. Lassit is a very, very valuable player for us and a very, very valuable member for us within that change room. So, yeah, the stats may show that he hasn't performed like Lassit of 3 years ago, but we could draw up a list around the world of players that aren't performing the way they did 3 years ago. But what he does add in value is immeasurable. I've run a few numbers a few days ago as well, and cricket's one of those games where on a bowler certain things don't get statted, and one of them is drop catches, and Lassit since Champions Trophy has had 9 catches dropped off his own bowling. So when you go look at that, his stats would look very differently. The game against Pakistan especially, could have won it single-handedly if we hadn't dropped a few catches. So I have no doubt that very soon he'll put in some match-winning performances for us.
Look, it's very easy to just say that he's not bowling as well anymore, but it could just be a phase. Once he starts hitting those Yorkers again and those slower balls again, and he picks up wickets on a regular basis, then all these talks can be otherwise also. So I can't talk about his body, only he would know. But as long as we play him, we all obviously respect his skill factor, and we know what he can bring to the table, and he can turn the game around in 1 over. So we always play him like that. We've always played him like that, and we'll continue to do so till the time he plays for Sri Lanka.
Great cricketers, and Malinga has been a great limited overs cricketer. It's always difficult to know when the end is coming, because throughout their life they fought adversity. They fought difficult situations and come up on top. So it's very difficult to know with a great player when he is coming to the end.
I think great players have this ability to turn it around. A lot of great players, Sachin Tendulkar is a great example.
Yeah, 2007-8,
a lot of people thought that that was probably the end. There was a period before that.
Thank God for the old headline, Endulkar. Give him another 5 years.
And in this case, if you hear what Virat Kohli said, when Virat Kohli was talking, he was saying that we still play him expecting that Yorker and slower one. And I think what the great players generally tend to do when they turn it around is they come and bring in something new. They add something and surprise you, because at the end of the day this is a battle between a batsman and a bowler. You come up with new tricks. Once somebody gets used to your style of bowling or style of batting, if it's batting, then they set fields like that, they don't bowl you in those areas, so you have to bring in something new, and that's why you go from that good player to a great player, because there are many stages that you go past. So I think what probably is missing is, yes, speed is down, and we're all talking about it. So if the batsman is only waiting for those 2 balls that you're bowling all the time, maybe that's why they're getting to that ball a little earlier. They're playing it better. Now everybody knows where Malinga bowls. It's still not easy to play it, but you may know where it's coming. So maybe he needs to add that to turn something around, because speed alone isn't everything. That great conversation that you had with Andy Roberts. What was he talking about? He was saying it wasn't always about 140 and 145 that the speed that I was increasing or decreasing. It could be at 120 to 125 or 120 to 130. So it is the variation, and it's the skill of the bowler to read the conditions, read the batsman. That's one thing that I feel, that over the years that I've been watching Malinga, that you haven't seen anything except that Yorker at the end, or the slow one when that Yorker is working, and the outswing with the new ball. There's only been that outswing, and now with that space not being there, and it's going in that direction. So if he's going to turn it around, which all great players have the ability, but they've always added something. With batsmen, you see they add another shot. Tendulkar added a little paddle sweep at one time when he used to never sweep. Then he added the sweep. Then he brought in another shot. So great players evolve. Great players are not great players who come on day one and stay the way they are. That's the major difference between great players and good players.
How easy is it to accept that you cannot do the things that you could do, and therefore you now have to find different ways of hunting for your meal, so to say?
Look, as a bowler, you're always trying to get back to your best, and and somebody who's coming back from injury, that it's a question of rhythm, it's a question of, and that's the way they're bowled. And it's a classic example.
As you grew older, there are some things you could no longer do.
Not exactly. You always believe that there are certain things you become a lot more mature. And a classic example is, we have one in our dressing room, in our com box ourselves. Ashish Nehra, when he got injured, he's still that 140-141 bowler, so he has to put in that effort. Zaheer Khan, when he realized that he had to make changes to his bowling, he became a lot more craftier, although he was quicker. Malinga, the way he bowls, that's what he's trying to do. He wants to achieve that 140 speed with the way he bowls, but he's not able to do that. So at the back of his mind, he wants to do it, he's trying to do it, but again, you have a lot of reserve of strength, mental strength as a bowler, and especially somebody like Malinga, when you've come back from debilitating injuries, he had to go through lots of different kinds of medicine, alternative medicine to cure his knee, and he's done lots of things in his career. So at the back of your mind, yes, you ideally want to know, that's where people call it quits. I definitely feel as a bowler, you're always trying to push yourself to get to that where you are. That's exactly my belief.
Okay, we've got some tweets as well on this issue that we'd like to cast a glance over, because we enjoy the fact that you keep sending them in. So let's take the first of those tweets, and this comes from Anish Debnath, and he says, to Ajay Jadeja, okay, whom will you pick for the ODI squad, Akshar Patel or Ravindra Jadeja?
I have a conflict of interest here. Should I be answering that question? But I will. I mean,
No. Your conflict of interest is very easily resolved. It won't come on any document. Just you have a name in common. That's all.
No, I mean, I would pick Ravindra. There's no doubt, and especially for one-day cricket. Test cricket, I haven't seen Akshar Patel play Test cricket, so it's unfair for me to make my opinion as well, because at least I need to see him. But Ravindra is a far superior player, whether it comes to batting, whether it comes to fielding. Bowling, maybe not too much to pick between them, but over the last 6 months, Ravindra has done a good job.
The fact is that Ravindra Jadeja will have a fight on his hands, because his numbers post World Cup 2015 in limited overs cricket aren't as great, and Akshar is turning out to be the challenger as well. But I tell you what, one of the reasons we had that huge discussion on Lasith Malinga was because he's just been such a champion. He'll come out and lead Sri Lanka's attack. He's 2 wickets short of 300, but we're not too far away from that now, because play will start at 8 o'clock. 2 bowlers can bowl a maximum of 10, 3 bowlers 9. You've got power plays as mentioned on that graphic, but most important, the revised target is now 231 from 47 overs. So really haven't lost too much more than just 3 overs. It should be a good contest. The track is still pretty good. India's batsmen are in top form. We think it's a target that shouldn't trouble them too much, but we'll wait and see. We'll take a break when we come back. Live action.
Namaste, India. For me, futsal is not football.
It's the 2020 of football.
This is futsal revolution. This is Premier Futsal.
His men ready. The battle lines drawn. The king sets for another expedition. Kohli the Conqueror. On Mission Lanka. Micromax Cup powered by Baidu. The Learning App. Sri Lanka versus India. Second ODI. Today. Live and exclusive on Sony 6 and Sony 10.3. After the Test Series win, it's time to don the blue. Mission Lanka. Micromax Cup powered by Baidu's The Learning App. Sri Lanka versus India. Second ODI. Today. Live and exclusive on Sony 6 and Sony 10.3.
Namaste, India. For me, futsal is not football.
It's the 2020 of football.
Full of tricks, goals, skills, and speed. With the world's best futsal players. This is futsal revolution. This is Premier Futsal.
This is Sony Picture Sports Network, and you are watching Sony 6.
Good news, folks. We're back. We're back on the park here in Pallekele. Micromax Cup powered by Baiju's. The second ODI. Sri Lanka versus India. Sri Lanka, well, they started off well. 31 to Dikwella Gunatilaka. But then from then on, not a lot until Sirivardhan and Kopugedara got together. They've got 236 for 8 in their 50. We've lost about an hour and 15 minutes, but we've lost only 3 overs. The target, the revised target, 231. 2 bowlers can bowl a maximum of 10, while 3 can bowl a maximum of 9. Power play overs, the first 10 stay intact. The second power play, 11 to 38 over. And power play 3, 39 to 47. Rohit Sharma. Very unfortunate to be run out in that first ODI. Has a very good average, a high score against Sri Lanka of 264 in Kolkata. In the island, not flash, averaging around 14 only. Good evening, Sunil Gavaskar.
Good evening, Russell. Good evening, everybody. Yes, thankfully the rain has stopped and we're going to have a game. Losing only 3 overs. So, not a lot of overs we are going to miss. The target reset now, 231 from 47 overs, 282 balls.
Lasith Malinga. He's got 2 slips in place. Gets a bit of shape straight away.
Beautiful delivery first up to Rohit Sharma. He is getting just that little bit of the outswinger going. Sharma feeling for that. The first ball is always the one where the batsman is tentative. He doesn't know what the pitch is going to offer. He could have been on the field, he could have seen what the opposition has done. And when it's your turn to bat and you play the first ball of the innings, it's never easy.
You've got to feel it for yourself. And as time goes on, you'll see that the feet start moving better. Oh yes, no feet that time. Save your feet, they'll say.
Well, that's his speciality, isn't it? That's the gift that he has. His bat speed is so good. The way he picks up the line, the way he picks up the length. So you don't really need great footwork if you can pick up the line and the length as early as Rohit Sharma does. It wasn't a bad ball, to be honest. Maybe just a little bit short, just a little bit wide. But it's the class of Rohit Sharma.
In the high 120s for Lasith Malinga. So down on pace. After the last game we heard Shikhar Dhawan also mentioned that. On the leg side. Play was due to start at 6:45 in the evening. It's 8 o'clock now. Usually we can make up 1 hour. So effectively we've lost just the 15 minutes. And that equates to 3 overs. 231 the revised target. That average is on the rise because Lasith Malinga struggling to make an impact, struggling to pick up wickets. Since making a comeback, played 9 games for just the 7 wickets.
Well, that ball will give him a lot more confidence. Very good release as well as a little bit of movement. Yes, he's lost out on pace. We all know that. He's had injuries with the knees, which is never easy for a fast bowler, particularly for a fast bowler. Good line, very good line this around the leg stump. Just getting the ball to move a little bit towards the slips. The line very good. Quickly making the adjustment. That 1 ball which was a little bit short, a little bit outside the off stump. After that he's bowled on the legs. There was 1 wide down the leg side when the ball went straight, didn't move towards slips.
Career average 28, but his average in 2017 is up at 62. Now he's not used to that, and there's a lot of pride in that man. He is a competitor, working hard in the nets between the games, trying to just lift himself up. He knows that he has to lead the team.
Yes, he's the most experienced of the bowlers. If he can get the early breakthroughs, Sri Lanka know that they can give India a tough run.
6 consecutive 50s against Sri Lanka, or scores of 50 plus for Shikhar Dhawan. Indy Javed Miandad has more. This is against one particular opposition. Javed Miandad has 7 against England. Rich vein of form. 1012 since the beginning of the Champions Trophy. We'll have to wait to get off the mark. It's 6 for no loss.
ब्रो अब इंडिया हुआ है आइडिया 4G पे हुक लुक लुक आइडिया 4G पे देखो इंडिया हुआ हुक लुक लुक हाँ लुक लुक अरे चेन्नई में मूड किया दिल्ली की चाट का जयपुर में दर्शन हुआ शिरडी के संत का डेटिंग में लुक वेटिंग में लुक आइडिया 4G पे देखो इंडिया हुआ हुक लुक लुक हाँ लुक लुक इंडिया हो गया है आइडिया 4G पे हुक आइडिया 4G इंडिया जितना बड़ा नेटवर्क Get sharper pictures and quicker focus with the all-new Panasonic Eluga A3 and A3 Pro.
So much to do.
पेश है नेरोलैक एक्सेल माइका मार्बल जो पेंट को बनाए टफ और उसकी शान बनाए रखे सालों साल।
Nerolac, Nerolac.
We saw the beautiful hills in the background. Wish for Fernando to open the bowling. Made his debut in Dambulla. Likely to bring the ball back into the right-hander. Not that time.
Looking the ball, the one that goes away from the right-hander. He's got a slip in position. The one coming into the right-hander should be the natural delivery for the left-hander.
And that's why there's a slip and the short mid-wicket. Edge, but flies away from that lone slip. Bit of a scramble seam. Even Rohit Sharma expecting that to come back in. Gets the second slip for the left-hander though. It was very impressive in the test match he played here in Pallekele. Kept running in, got the ball to go through. Fine legs in the circle and square leg. Sneaks out. There'll be at least a couple. Gunatilaka keeps it in.
Sri Lanka will need that kind of effort, that kind of fielding to lift its bowlers up. They're not defending too big a total. Oops. Very close to touching that boundary rope.
You can see all the Sri Lankan players having towels with them, even though it was not heavy rains. There'll be a little bit of moisture out on the grass. And ideally, they'd like to keep that ball as dry as possible, hoping to get some grip off the pitch. If it gets wet, it'll slide on, and that wouldn't help their cause. Well, just as the Sri Lankan innings finished, this is what happened. steady drizzle turned out into a mizzle. Luckily it's disappeared. Ground staff, as usual, were quickly onto it. Covers coming onto the ground from every direction. And within minutes, the whole ground was covered.
Good quicker delivery, bowled at about 136.8 kilometers. Looking to York. Dhawan, but Dhawan is in form. Very, very good form. It's been impressive, Vishwa Fernando, no question about it. Bowled impressively in the test matches. Didn't have too many wickets to show for his effort. And like you said, Russell, he was running in hard every over. 10 for no loss.
Hi, baby. Happy birthday. The candles, come on. I like the red one.
Hey, where are you?
That's amazing! Feel every moment come alive. Google Duo, rated the highest quality video calling app. Here's a rap for the raps by Subway. Give a clap for the raps at Subway. It fits in your pocket in every way.
Well, it must be said the fans have come in. They're supporting their team as much as possible. 6 consecutive scores of 50 plus. Shikhar Dhawan has 6 against Sri Lanka. This is against the one opponent, Javed Miandad, right on top. He's got 750s against England. Not swinging. He's expecting that to swing back.
Yes, I think he knows that Rohit is very good on the offside. So trying to cramp him for room. If the ball is not going to curve towards slip, if it just holds its line, then it's going to be a wide down the leg side. There you are, wide down the leg side. You can see that Rohit still not moving his feet as much as he otherwise does after a couple of overs. Once again, you can see that the feet really haven't moved, but his pickup of the ball is so good, so quick. Doesn't always need to move his feet. It's a beautiful position to be standing up there, awaiting the delivery of the ball. So still.
A great setup. Lets the ball come to him and plays it under his eyes.
Well, look at this. It's such a beautiful style. The head is still, the balance evenly distributed on both the sides.
Good signs he's not feeling for it. Waiting for it to come onto the bat. It's the third wide from Lasith Malinga this innings. Sri Lanka's bowling quite different to the bowling attack that you saw up in Dambulla. Malinga and Vishwa Fernando were there. Dusmantha Chamira, probably the quickest Sri Lankan bowler, has been picked. Milinda Sirivardhana batted really well. He can bowl a bit of left arm spin. This is the man everyone's looking forward to seeing. Young, quick, can bowl in the mid 140s. The 2 wrist spinners were left out. Lakshan Sandakhan and Wanindu Hasaranga, and Akila Dhananjay is in the team. Akila Dhananjay initially broke into international cricket as an 18-year-old in the T20 World Cup, which was played in Sri Lanka. 2012, Maila Jayawardena saw him in the nets and picked him up from nowhere. He went on to impress in that series, and it's been a while since we've seen him back in Sri Lankan colours. Loses a slip. Oh, flicked off the pads all the way. First 6 of the innings.
What a shot. This time around the pads, he's been waiting for that. Just the length that he was looking for. Look at the way the bat comes down. It's a pretty straight bat. Look at the punch once again. The bottom man coming into play down there. And that's a magnificent shot. Magnificent shot.
Oh, that was flying. Rohit Sharma does not move. No change to the field. Malinga backing himself. More runs. That's the 2 runs. Good work in the deep by Vishwa Fernando.
This time he played it along the ground, Rohit Sharma. Ball pitched a little further up. Didn't quite get the length that he was looking for off the previous ball, which he flicked disdainfully for a 6. He knows Lasith Malinga quite well. They play for the same team in the Indian Premier League, play for the Mumbai Indians. They would have practiced against each other in the nets.
Little edge. 10 off the Malinga over. India up to 20 for no loss.
Dada को लगता है I'm only sharing selfies. Mom, Dad think all I do is play video games. Chemistry, physics, Dad.
Sound travels through air as the string moves to and fro. It creates a pressure difference that travels. Similar to that in a slinky, also visualized in a graph. So easy to understand sound.
Come fall in love with learning. Download Byju's, the learning app.
To get the bathroom of your dreams without any hassle, get in touch with us. Hindware. Start with the expert.
43 to him. It's been fantastic form. We mentioned the 6 consecutive 50s against Sri Lanka. But other than that, in 2017, actually in the last 3 months, Shikhar Dhawan has gone on to score 1,012 runs in 15 games. This is in all formats, mind you, 15 innings. Beg your pardon, 15 matches, which includes the 3 test matches against Sri Lanka. Which is a wonderful record, 67.47 the average, 400s and 450s to Shikhar Dhawan.
Yes, he's in tremendous form, Shikhar Dhawan. You can have a look at that. 102 50s in the ICC Champions Trophy. The one-day series, he got 2 50s against the West Indies. Should be able to pick up 2 if not more. No, it's a boundary. He's placed it really well. Fernando's got a slip in position and he's still going on the pads. That's not good enough. If you've got only one fielder and that fielder is in the 30-yard circle in the fine leg area and the other fielder is at deep square leg, all Shikhar Dhawan has to do is beat that fielder at short fine leg in the 30-yard circle. That's exactly what is the kind of form that he's in. See how easily he's done it. He's given it just the enough push to take it to the boundary, beat that fielder at deep square leg.
Seems to be loving the Sri Lankan bowling at the moment. No. 400s in the last 3 months. Oh, clumsy. Very clumsy indeed. Can't afford that, the Sri Lankans. He made 100 in the Champions Trophy against Sri Lanka, 2 in the Test matches, and 132 in the last ODI. Milinda Sirivardhan, the culprit. So Rohit Sharma, he is on to 14. His first double-digit score in Sri Lanka. That's in 8 innings versus Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka.
Amazing, isn't it? And his highest score and the highest score ever in one-day cricket is 264, and that came against Sri Lanka at the Eden Gardens. But here in Sri Lanka, he struggled, and there it is.
But there looks like there's a bit of uneven bounce. That one kept low, hitting the bottom of the bat for Rohit Sharma. Even Shikhar Dhawan, when he was looking to go through the offside, just couldn't time it. Sri Lanka are smart enough, they can make this 231 that's required. Very, very difficult to get. Slip in a gully for Vishwa Fernando. There's also a short extra cover, just the 2 fielders on the onside. A wideish fine leg and the mid-on. But he has that sitting up. Rohit Sharma, he is not going to miss out. 29 for no loss.
Hey Siri, take a selfie. I hope it don't cause an eclipse.
आ गए ना धोखा। गलत इंप्रेशन ऐसे ही बन जाते हैं। अब फोर्ड इकोस्पोर्ट को ही ले लो, बस सोच लिया कि उसकी सर्विस कॉस्ट ज्यादा है, जबकि 5वें साल भी एक कॉस्ट सिर्फ 3770 ही है। कहीं सुनी पर मत जाओ, खुद देखो, परखो, फिर डिसाइड करो।
फोर्ड, कुछ अलग सी फैमिली वाली फीलिंग।
पेश है नेरोलैक एक्सेल माइका मार्बल, जो पेंट्स को बनाए टफ और उसकी शान बनाए रखे सालों साल।
Nerolac, Nerolac.
Exactly where there was a fielder there. See how far outside the off stump that ball was. But because it was short, he was able to pull it away to the boundary.
Dhawan's on strike. Maling has gone for 16 off his 2 overs so far and not looked threatening at all. Creams that through the offside. How easy is that? Second boundary for Shikhar Dhawan.
Yes, a wide half volley. And a man in form is never going to miss that. See how wide it is outside the off stump. Shikhar Dhawan just opening the face of the bat to run it away from the fielder at backward point. There it is. Nicely played.
It's not swinging. It's not swinging for Malinga. That's the problem. He's searching. He's trying to be full. That extra bit he's unable to achieve at this stage. 627 runs in 7 innings in the last 3 months for Shikhar Dhawan against Sri Lanka. Wonderful play to have. And all this on the back of a holiday. Called in from Hong Kong, and look at the return. Change of bat, a lot of balls hitting the bottom of the bat. Malinga's made an adjustment in the field for Rohit Sharma after being flicked towards square leg. Fine legs come in, deep square legs out.
But the Indian openers quite content to rotate the strike, wait for the loose ball. When the loose ball is coming along, they are taking full toll of it. Run rate at the moment 7.78. That just tells you how much in control the Indian openers are.
Looks like a lot of advice from the stands. Velupul Taranga cannot let this drift. Yes, Malinga is your go-to man, he's your main bowler. But he's not getting anything out of it. He'll have to turn to another option.
That's right. He's got to look to take early wickets, push India back. India on the other end, aware of the fact that rain could be round the corner, trying to score very, very quickly, so that if it comes down to the DL method, then they are well ahead of that. Their first target would be to play 20 overs. Just a hint of movement outside the off stump.
Well, just an indication. If it's 20 overs and India haven't lost a wicket, they'll require just the 59 runs.
Which is actually less than 3 runs an over. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Right now they're 36. So they just need 23 more runs in 15.1 overs.
This changes line, bowling a foot outside off stump. After 5, 36 for no loss.
All that you wished for and more with a 4000 mAh battery. Panasonic Aluga A3 and A3 Pro.
Taranga has made a change. It's gone to his ex-captain, Angelo Matthews, who we saw with the ball in Dambulla. It's been a long layoff. Usually Sri Lanka like to use him with the new ball because he gets it to wobble around. Best of 6 for 20. You mentioned the rain equation. If you don't get at least 20 overs, we do have a reserve day, which is tomorrow. We will of course come back to continue the game.
Yes, but I think the Indians are probably looking at it that they will be at more than 20 overs. So trying to stay above the asking rate as far as the DL method is concerned. Does look pretty clear at the moment, so there's no real danger of rain, but you never know. Suddenly the slow pace of Angelo Matthews, a little more movement will mean that the Indians will have to watch out for that late movement. Yes, it has come in at the last moment. You can see just a little movement. Dhawan was looking for more room around the off stump.
He attempts to create a bit of extra pace by coming at Angelo Matthews. like he had it covered, Kapugedara. Srivardhana was backing up as well.
Good attempt that by Kapugedara, but wasn't quite able to stop it.
I just wonder how long it will take Dick Weller to come up to the stumps to Angelo Matthews. It's always a good ploy. You can see the batsman wanting to walk down the pitch because Matthews is slow, trying to create that extra pace to hit through. Rohit versus Matthews, it's been an interesting battle. Rohit's faced 123 balls, scored 62 runs, but it's been dismissed 6 times.
Well, that's interesting. That is very interesting. No wonder Tharunga has gone to Angelo Matthews in the 6th over of the innings, while the ball is still new, a little bit hard.
Good start from Matthews, 2 off that over, 38 for no loss.
Hey family champion. Oh, hi. अच्छा ये बताओ, आपके फैमिली में कितने मेंबर्स हैं? 5. और हर मेंबर सेम नेटवर्क पर है, राइट? हाँ. उन सबका बिल भी आप ही भरती होंगी. और क्या? और आपके नेटवर्क ने क्या किया? एक फैमिली से 5 कनेक्शन लेके भी रिटर्न में आपको कुछ दिया? नहीं यार. आज से ये नहीं होगा. नया एयरटेल पोस्टपेड प्रॉमिस. अब पूरी फैमिली का एक प्लान और 20% तक की बचत. ये एयरटेल का प्रॉमिस है.
6 overs bowled. 47 overs is what India have to chase down the target of 231. Malinga continues. Interesting numbers, Rohit versus Matthews. Matthews also did feature in that game. Rohit Sharma went on to score 264. Matthews' return was 2 for 44. He's basically survived the onslaught.
Yes, under the circumstances when Rohit was hitting wherever he wanted, to finish with figures of 2 for 44. Of his 8 overs, pretty good figures. Economy just a little over 5 runs per over.
Over the top, 1 bounce. Rohit Sharma is in the mood.
The field restriction still on. There's 2 fielders outside the circle. Sharma taking full advantage of that. The length ball that he's looking for. In the previous over he hit it on the leg side. This time he's hit it on the offside. It's a wonderful shot. 1 bounce into the advertising board.
Remember that innings? He started off slowly, then suddenly took off around the midway mark of that innings. Also has a 200 against Australia. Emphasis on getting that grip right. Shikhar Dhawan taking a lot of time. That's good to see, going through your processes. Yes, you're in good form, you're scoring lots of runs, but your setup matters. That's where it all starts.
And you don't want to break the rhythm that you're in. A couple of early dismissals and the doubts start to creep in. So while the going is good, keep going. Score as many as you can. Stay as long as you can at the crease. Of course, this is a 50 overs game. You can stay in only for 50 overs at best.
He'll have to do that all over again. Very interesting. Shikhar Dhawan, it looks like it's about the grip. For others, it's about your balance, where your feet are, flex of the knees. Lasith Malinga, it's a kiss of the ball. He's flicked that away. Kiss of the ball doesn't work. Not this time.
Oh, the full toss. Slower delivery attempted by, but look at that, it's gone as a full toss and on the pads as well. So no subcontinent batsman is going to miss out on that. Around the knees, very good height to play the shot. If it's a full toss, yes, he's disappointed. The idea wasn't bad. He'd been bowling at about 130 kilometers per hour. Now this one was the slower one, but it went as a full toss.
Look, he's trying. He's trying very, very hard. It's just not happening for Lasith Malinga. He's trying different lengths, lines, trying his variations, but these two Indian batsmen, well on top. And they'll stay on top. After 7, it's 47 for no loss.
नया हीरो ड्यूएट, इसकी हर बात में है नई सोच, जैसे एडवांस्ड इंजन और नए एडवांस्ड फीचर्स, टेलीस्कोपिक फ्रंट सस्पेंशन, एक्सटर्नल फ्यूल फिलिंग, इंटीग्रेटेड ब्रेकिंग। नया हीरो ड्यूएट, एक सोच नई।
$47 for no loss after 7. Chasing Sri Lanka's 231. It's a revised target. Sri Lanka made 236 for 8. We've lost 3 overs. Up in the commentary box for the next 7 overs, Zahir Khan, Harsha Bhogde.
Right, thank you very much, Russell Arnold. It's just the start India wanted. Interesting to see how Angelo Matthews goes about it. Bowled a good first over. 47 of 7. Sri Lanka's main strike weapon, Lasith Malinga, 4 overs for 32. Must admit, even if you're an Indian supporter, it's been very nice watching him just walk forlornly back after another boundary. Against him, he's tried, as Russell said, he's tried everything. He's bowled the short ball, he's bowled the away swinger, he's bowled the slow one. As you come towards the end, I guess there's some things you can do, some things you can't. Because Zahir Khan was sitting alongside, he's been through that. Other things that your mind tells you can do, but your body tells you, or something else tells you, listen, time has passed. Does that happen to a bowler at all? Or with determination, can you just keep running in?
Well, let me assure you, if you have someone like Rohit Sharma batting and the way he bats, most of the times, whether doesn't matter what situation you're in, he can just make you pay for it. The kind of form he is in, as you've seen, the shots he plays makes it look so pleasing to eyes. Makes it look so easy, just hand and eye coordination. Foot punch, how well he plays that shot.
Some beauties today. 50 comes up for India in the 8th over. He's had a ridiculous record in Sri Lanka. I mean, it just has to be one of the freaks that everybody has in their career, freak occurrences. He's looking good to make up for it today, because he's played some astonishing shots today.
Absolutely. So when you have someone like Rohit Sharma in this form, as a bowler, it's always tough to bowl to him. And talking about bowlers coming to end or feeling that the way they used to bowl earlier, not getting the same kind of result. I think you just need to keep evolving yourself. You have to find different ways. As you're seeing with Malinga, I think just need to figure out a tempo in which he takes wickets. He has to figure out a way, probably a different way than how it used to be, and attack batters with that, devise new strategies to get batsmen out. And that's something which I'm sure he's also thinking. He's looked good. He's been running in well. He's hitting the right areas. It's just the way he used to get wickets. When you're bowling 140 plus, it makes it that much easier. You give batsmen less time to react, and Yorker has been his strength even with the new ball. End of the over, 52 for no loss, India.
ब्रो अब इंडिया हुआ है आइडिया 4G पे हुक लुक लुक
आइडिया 4G पे देखो इंडिया हुआ हुक लुक लुक सूरत में लुक लुक लुक
શું કરે છે
गुवाहाटी में लुक लुक बेंगलुरु में लुक वेस्ट नॉर्थ साउथ इंडिया का रे लुक लुक आइडिया 4G पे देखो इंडिया हुआ हुक लुक लुक
इंडिया हो गया है आइडिया 4G पे हुक आइडिया 4G इंडिया जितना बड़ा नेटवर्क Do all that you wished for and more with a 4000 mAh battery. Panasonic Aluga A3 and A3 Pro.
Dushmant Chamira. Very impressed when I saw him at a lovely tour of New Zealand, where he bowled really quick. But partly injuries. He's had a slightly erratic career. Still pretty young. His fast bowlers go 25. Probably just approaching his strongest years. Economy 6.38 is an attacking bowler that can happen sometimes. I'm really looking forward to seeing him bowl. He's up against an Indian batsman who doesn't mind pace. In fact, who probably relishes pace more than the slower variety. He's past the 30-yard circle.
Nice tall lad, good action, runs in nicely, light on his feet. Nice high arm action. For a bowler, it's very important that you keep that head still so that your direction is always good. What Sri Lanka needs to stay in this game is wicket. India is off to a really solid start.
Oh, missed time. I just wanted the late call to play the shot. One of the few batsmen who can pull out the front foot actually. When you're growing up, you're always fed stories of how Indians couldn't play genuine pace. Sure, not all of those were true. We got into a generation then with the Tendulkars, the Dravids, the Lakshmans especially, then into Rohit Sharma and the others who actually relished the quicker ball, which hit him very high on the sticker. So when we were youngsters coming through playing senior division cricket, word always was, can he stand up to pace? Because if someone could stand up to pace, you suddenly looked at him very differently. Those days are long gone. He's hitting the bat hard. It's 141.
Times have certainly changed, Harsha. On the other hand, now you look at some good spinners troubling Indian batsmen. I think it made the conscious effort of dealing with fast bowling. Been very consistent with bounce now. They just enjoy facing the fast bowlers, use the pace well. And one of the reasons is all the India A tours overseas have also helped. The junior cricket also is improving with time. Enough steps have taken towards improvement of cricket. And IPL is also another factor where you get to face international bowlers with genuine pace. So the gap is reducing.
Look down Sri Lanka. I thought Vishwa Fernando was impressive in the test match that he played here. Lahiru Kumara has the raw material. Dushmantha Chamira's around. You wonder why bowling struggles. Oh, look at that shot. Wow. Sheer audacity. I mean, there was a time when you're not allowed to play these shots. And look at him. He's just dispatched a fast bowler with a scoop. It's almost like he was putting a spoon in a jar and taking out some sugar.
Amazing. Look at how closely he was watching the ball. He just knew exactly, picked his spot, finally goes up. Knew exactly which shot he's going to play and how well he executed that one.
He's the slowest bowler in the world, mind you. Got to see that ball so early to be able to play that shot. The fielder there doesn't matter because that's gone the distance as well. This time he had the room, he had the width. 12 runs of that over after 4 really good deliveries. 64 for no loss.
कैसा चल रहा है टीवी? गुड? क्यों गुड से काम चला रहे हो यार? Make it great with Panasonic 4K Pro.
Panasonic.
Here's a rap for the raps by Subway. Give a clap for the raps at Subway. It fits in your pocket in every way.
Almost looking orthodox in comparison to the earlier one. And it's not a small six either. It's cleared the boundary by good 2-3 yards. Yes. She won't mind. Sometimes there's some shots just jaw-dropping. Some of them are just pretty, like the couple of the others that Rohit Sharma has played. I'd love to get the bowler's perspective on a scoop over fine leg. How early do you have to see the ball? How predetermined is this?
Most of the times it is predetermined. I think if you look at the first few deliveries prior to that shot, Chamira was consciously making that effort of bowling that length. I think that's something which Rohit picked. Knew exactly he could play a shot on the onside. Need not be the same scoop shot, but he knew that he can definitely use the pace of the bowler because he is generally looking to bowl in that area. So that's what really helps for a batsman to decide that. You still got to execute it well, which Rohit on that occasion did. It was a combination of the field set and the build-up of that over.
If you saw that ball in the air and you were told it's been played with a largely straight bat, you'd think it was hit over long off. Sometimes when you have the extra pace, the batsman can use the extra pace. Here's Matthews, far slower, who's bowling a far more economical spell. It's so important for Sri Lanka that Matthews starts to bowl. If Matthews can give 7-8 overs every single game, just changes the balance on the side. And then I hope he wants to bat at a different number. At 5 with maybe just one batsman at 6, all-rounders, bowling all-rounders to follow. There's not a lot to play with. Now around the wicket.
I think what Sri Lanka needs to do is provide that support to their bowlers. They need a score on the board which is good enough to be putting pressure on this Indian batting lineup, and that score line has to be 300 plus. If you have that kind of score on the board, then you can put pressure on the batsman. If you pick up wicket, you can set attacking fields. But it's never going to be easy if you have a good start with this Indian batting lineup. You have someone like Virat Kohli coming in, KL Rahul, MS Dhoni. So bowlers need enough runs to show their skills on the field.
First game that he played at in Dambulla was bowling after a while. He was bowling well within himself, about 118, 119, nudging 120. The pace is up about 125. I think when he was bowling regularly, he was about 128, 130. So he's probably just reaching there now. Last ball before the field restrictions go off. He can have 4 outside after this. And in the first end, Sri Lanka have conceded 68. That's where India are. 68 for no loss.
अपनों की ना बात ही कुछ और होती है. आपसे ज्यादा आपकी परवाह करते हैं. तो आइए कभी सफर कीजिए हमारे साथ. महसूस कीजिए वो अपनेपन वाली बात. उबर, इसे अपनी गाड़ी समझो.
Especially when it used to be called the Ketarama, became the Premadasa afterwards, of course. Band playing everywhere. For rifle signals the start of the second power play, which means you can have 4 outside now. Now Chamira's got the left hander to bowl at. And he can now have 2 back for the pull shot. Both long leg, square leg. He's also got third man out. Nudging 144, there's 143.5. Those are the 2 that went for 6. I think the inner of the 2 was the one that went to fine leg.
You look at the cluster of the lengths, it's just on back of the length, and that's why it's helping Rohit line himself for different shots. With outside off he can punch, which is his strength. Shot on pull is something which he plays really well.
So 68 came in that power play. And where the shots you remember came from Rohit Sharma. Look at that one. Just makes the batting look very, very simple. For once, the man in form, Shikhar Dhawan, just stood the non-strikers in and watched shots like these. So India on the way. One of the problems for Sri Lanka is that they get off to start very quickly. Oh, isn't that hard into the square? What a hard square this is. He loves it. You give him a little bit of room outside the off, and Shikhar Dhawan will play that when he's 75 years old.
And now Shikhar joins the party. To his strength. On the back foot. Uses that width. Really well. Hits it hard into the wicket. And that's why the bounce. That's why it bounced over point. Can't set field for that. And as a result, Chamira changing the angle. Coming around the wicket now.
The single conceded. You saw this in the test matches as well, that in the early stage of the match when teams are jostling for positions, India were running away with the game. And Sri Lanka started to play catch-up. That's happened again today. Straight through. That's a gift of a single. It's hit hard, but still straight to the fielder. Right, this will be interesting now. Two deliveries at Rohit Sharma. Let's see if he pushes the length further up. Remember, he's now got long leg, square leg, a deep point, a very square third man. Just to go the slow one. Been in magnificent form in 2017. That's the point we were making. Bowlers have been quite kind to him. And he's capitalized on the width that he's got. But the fact is that every single time he's got width, he's probably capitalized on it. Just two of those boundaries versus seam in 2017 were actually going on to hit the stump. Has cover in the deep now, so 7 from that over. It's 75 for no loss.
Hey Siri, read my schedule. Rock. Hey Siri, take a selfie. You want to see more of The Rock and Siri? Just grab your iPhone and say, hey Siri, what are you and The Rock up to?
अपनों की ना बात ही कुछ और होती है. आपसे ज्यादा आपकी परवाह करते हैं. तो आइए कभी सफर कीजिए हमारे साथ. महसूस कीजिए वो अपनेपन वाली बात. उबर, इसे अपनी गाड़ी समझो.
While ago, early in the game, Sri Lanka let India get away. See that red line? It's already left the blue line, which is Sri Lanka. It's gone off on its own. The best way to pull that line back is for Sri Lanka to generate wickets. Got Akila Dhananjaya bowling now. So they let go of Sandakam too early. I know he was very expensive in the last game. It says off-break bowler Akila Dhananjaya, but I think he bowls quite a concoction.
Sri Lanka needs wickets to stay in the game. The question is, who is going to deliver that? If these two bat for another 4-5 overs, I think they'll need not only one, they'll need a couple of wickets in bunches.
What India managed to do with this start by not losing wickets is effectively take Duckworth Lewis out of the equation completely. Once the game starts and the opposition hasn't scored a lot of runs, the game starts as a 45 or 50 over game, then Duckworth Lewis is always in favour of the side batting second. It's very different if the game starts off as a 20 over game. Just to illustrate, if this had been down to 20 overs, India would have had to chase in the region of 140 to win. Because it started off as a 47 over game, the 20 over score is now 59. Works. They'll take the single. They have a struggle at the non-striker, then he'll get there. Can of course run between the throw and the stumps if you're not changing direction.
And Rohit Sharma making sure that he's not looking at the ball this time, and making sure he's grounding his bat.
Interesting to see where he grounded the bat though, given that last time he was in the green part of the pitch and the bat got stuck. Yes, once the game starts a 50 over game at the 20 over mark, Duckworth Lewis assumes that you've got there with the intention of playing 50 overs, and so the target is much smaller. But if it starts off as a 20 over game, with all your resources available to you, that is why the target is much higher. Now this is that run out. Watch where he's running. The bat gets stuck. This was in Dambulla. Oh, in the gap, that's a beauty. There's a speed with which it left the bat. The timing was awesome on that one from Shikhar Dhawan. It's 81 for no loss. India after 12.
ब्रो अब इंडिया हुआ है आइडिया 4G पे होक लुक लुक
आइडिया 4G पे देखो इंडिया हुआ हुक लुक लुक खाते हुए पकाते हुए चबाते हुए भगाते हुए पर मचा चूड़ू गारू देखो गुरु लुक लुक आइडिया 4G पे देखो इंडिया हुआ हुक लुक लुक हाँ लुक लुक
इंडिया हो गया है आइडिया 4G पे होक आइडिया 4G इंडिया जितना बड़ा नेटवर्क
We've seen some great shots today. That last one from Shikhar Dhawan is as good as any. Great use of the feet, found the gap.
Using the feet so well. Knew exactly which gap he was looking at. Once he got to the pitch of the ball, he knew it was always 4.
Looked at that like it was in a hurry to get to the boundary. Now we've got pace again with Chamira, Dushman the Chamira. Here in search of the wicket, possessed of pace, he chooses to take pace off the ball. Limited overs cricket does to you, isn't it? There's very, very few people in the world who can easily run up and bowl 140 plus. It's a skill that vast majority of cricketers would give anything to possess. And yet the demands are such that you have to bowl the slower ball, and so possessed of 143, he's won at 116.
It's so very important, especially when Rohit is batting. Loves the pace, loves the ball coming onto the bat. Changing the pace of your delivery is a good option. After 10 overs now there is enough support as a bowler for you to have a field square of the wicket. You can afford to bowl back of the length. As a bowler, you always need to find a way of getting batsmen out. Doesn't matter what stage of the game you are in. Got to have fielders in place. At least one option you must have as a bowler where you can think of taking wicket.
Well, it's always going to be a good contest. In fact, you almost want Rohit Sharma to come back for 2. He settles with 1 because a fast bowler bowling and the batsman willing to take it on, even if it's limited overs cricket, is great fun to see. There's genuine pace from Dushman the Chamira, and yet both Indian batsmen happy to play the pull shot. Siva is lean, he's wiry, runs in hard.
Sri Lankans need to understand that they need to take wicket at this stage. Doesn't matter what the scoreline is. They've got to have that wicket taking option in place. Have a slip. Look to pitch the ball up. Take that chance, take that risk. Because if these two bat along for another 5-10 overs, it's going to make it that much difficult for them to defend this total.
Oh, to the right of the man at square leg, and that tells you how early he's seen the ball. Chamira's let that slip at 140 kilometers an hour, but Dhawan doesn't mind. Rex sees it well enough to play it well in front of square. always an indicator of how well you're seeing it, how much in front to square you're playing the ball. Chamira continues to be exciting but continues to bleed runs. 126 is in his third over. There's a man in the deep. So 8 from that over from Dushman. The Chamira, it's 89 now for no loss of just 13 overs. Might well be time for a breather, and I don't think the Sri Lankan bowlers would mind that too much. Just gather your thoughts around. See, as Zahir said, who's going to be the bowler taking that wicket? It's the Maltics drinks break.
Hey Siri, read my schedule. Rock. Hey Siri, take a selfie. You want to see more of The Rock and Siri? Just grab your iPhone and say, "Hey Siri, what are you and The Rock up to?"
For years, we've marched as one. We've stuck together through ups and downs, and through twists and turns. We keep the tradition alive.
हाथी मत पालो. Dominar 400. Go. Hyper riding.
डोमिनोज का टॉपिंग्स कम होता है.
आपने कहा टॉपिंग्स कम है
और बड़ा कर
तो हमने बढ़ा दी.
पुट मोर.
Try the all new Domino's.
आपने कहा हमने किया.
हेलो. हाँ फिल्म देखिए.
हाय.
हाय.
मम्मा बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट है, सो मम्मा, दिस इज माय फ्रेंड कुणाल.
हेलो.
हाय.
आंटी, आप लोग कौन?
मीनाक्षी. यू कैन कॉल मी मीनाक्षी.
लोग तो नोटिस करेंगे. Wildstone Dios for Men.
To get the bathroom of your dreams without any hassle, get in touch with us. Hindware. Start with the expert.
Hi, baby. Happy birthday. The candles, come on.
Hey, where are you? That's amazing!
Feel every moment come alive. Google Duo, rated the highest quality video calling app.
FIFA Under-17 World Cup India 2017. This October. Live on Sony 10.2 and Sony 10.3.
Right, Dhananjay will continue. And just wide of the man had slipped. Say, when you're in form, all kinds of things happen to you. You're out of form, that pops up of the two of the bats straight to slip. And everybody in the commentary box sits and says, what on earth is he up to? There he was, taken the leading edge, but well clear of the slip fielder.
In modern day cricket, this is a safe shot, Harsha. It's a well-calculated risk. As a batsman, you take, looking at the field placement, of course.
The reason he wanted to play that was there's absolutely nobody behind the wicket on the onside at all. The closest to the ball would have been square leg. Of course, when you're in the kind of form that Shikhar Dhawan is, you almost start to think you can play any shot. Sometimes confidence can be a double-edged sword. It's beautiful when, as a batsman, it can sometimes lull you into believing you can play just about any shot. Now for Rohit Sharma, what have we got? We've got cover, mid-off, mid-wicket and square leg inside the circle along with slip. The only man out on the offside is a deep point, as it turns out.
Oh, yes!
Keep watching out for what Dhananjay bowls. We classify him as an off-spinner, but see that's the leg break. Didn't turn very much, was intended to be. So he does a little bit of everything. That's the off break. And we'll go in the gap for two. The element of surprise comes if you're disguising it out of the hand. It's clear it's a leg break, then it's not the same element of surprise. Five of the over. It's 94 for no loss.
अपनों की ना बात ही कुछ और होती है. आपसे ज्यादा आपकी परवाह करते हैं. तो आइए कभी सफर कीजिए हमारे साथ. महसूस कीजिए वो अपनेपन वाली बात. उबर, इसे अपनी गाड़ी समझो.
Sequence of scores, and finally showing his class here in Sri Lanka. It's time to call in Murali Karthik and Roshan Abesani.
Thank you, Harsha. Yes, indeed, we've seen an outstanding knock by Rohit Sharma. Some of the shots he played, just breathtaking. Sri Lanka bringing on their second spinner, Milinda Sirivardhana, who's more of a part-time bowler. He's more recognized as a batsman than his bowling, but he's been useful. But again, a wonderful start for India, Karthik.
Yeah, they've continued from where they left in the previous game. Milinda Sirivardhana replacing Dushmanta Chamera, who was very expensive. First four deliveries were outstanding, and from the time Rohit Sharma played that spectacular shot, it seemed as if he lost all his bearings. It is the last throw of dice, the last option which Upul Taranga has exercised now.
Taranga's options are definitely limited here because he's turning to the left arm spinner Sirivardhana, because all his attacking options have been dealt with. India going at a healthy rate of over 6.5 runs and over 6.63. So he's compelled to turn to Sirivardhana. But then again, Sri Lanka need wickets, so you need to be looking to attack. It's not about India scoring runs, it's about Sri Lanka getting wickets. You need to have your fielders in the right places, particularly in attacking places. It's good to see a slip in with the right hand on strike.
I think that's the way Dhananjay has started as well, till he played that shot of the last ball. They've already reached 96, Roshan. It's a question of trying to attack, trying to put up a fight. That's his 50. Rohit Sharma Very, very special player. Very attractive player.
Rohit Sharma's fastest 50 in his career, coming off just 43 balls, 3 sixes and 4 fours. Shikhar Dhawan has been good as well. Look to use his feet. Just looks so free to me, Shikhar Dhawan. He spoke about his mental freedom the last time after that game. He just said that he's enjoying himself. There goes the sweep. The 100 runs partnership for India been established in just 15 overs. 102 without loss.
आ गया ना धोखा। गलत इंप्रेशन ऐसे ही बन जाते हैं। अब फोर्ड इको स्पोर्ट को ही ले लो, बस सोच लिया कि उसकी सर्विस कॉस्ट ज्यादा है, जबकि 5वें साल भी एक और सिर्फ 3770 ही है। कहीं सुनी पर मत जाओ, खुद देखो, परखो, फिर डिसाइड करो।
फोर्ड, कुछ अलग सी फैमिली वाली फीलिंग।
डोमिनोज का टॉपिंग्स कम होता है।
आपने कहा टॉपिंग्स कम है,
और बड़ा कर,
तो हमने बढ़ा दी।
पुट मोर।
Try the all new Domino's.
आपने कहा, हमने किया।
102 without loss. Dhananjaya chipped over mid-on. In fact, it's more than a chip. It's gone all the way. Mid-on fieldsman was inside the 30-yard circle, and Shikhar Dhawan going all the way over long on for 6.
The outstanding use of his feet. Was beaten in the air, but still went through with that shot. And you're right, it's more than a chip, a good chip. Quick single and well taken. Initially was slow to start, didn't get his timing or whatever we've seen of it right through the top. It was not there to the picture the ball, but going through beautifully with the shot, and then he's brought out shots which we have not seen with Rohit Sharma. We saw that scoop and now the sweep. And these are his less favoured options, Roshan.
Rohit Sharma, we've been talking about him attempting the swiggle at Dhananjaya. Strikes. They're going to have a word. Just want to be sure as to whether he should refer it. I think he is referring it.
Third umpire to director, review for LBW, on-field decision out. Let's start with the front foot, please. And that's a fair delivery. Let's move on to front on spin. And there appear to be no bat, but let's get ultra edge, please. Ultra edge. Flat line. Flat line going all the way. Let's come with ultra edge again. Let's go past the glove again, Simon. Just go past the glove one more time. Right. Okay, good. Ball tracking when you're ready. Ball tracking coming up, Branmore, ball pitching in line, impact in line, and wickets hitting. Wickets hitting. Can you put Branmore back on screen, please? On screen now, stay with your decision.
Well, a good decision by umpire Ranmo Martinez, referred, but then reconfirmed. Rohit Sharma goes for 54. LBW to Akila Dhananjaya. India 109 for 1.
For years, we've marched as one. We've stuck together through ups and downs, and through twists and turns, we keep the tradition alive.
हाथी मत पालो. Dominar 400. Go hyper riding.
मैच बोरिंग हो जाता है ना, फिर भी इसमें देखने में मजा आता है. Panasonic 4K Pro, next level of TV viewing.
Panasonic.
So it's Rahul, the new batsman, batting for the first time. Rahul, that is, I think for the first time at number 3 in his career. In one-day cricket, that is. Take a look at this. This is Rohit Sharma looking to play the sweep shot. Referred and confirmed that that was out. In fact, this is the 11th century stand by this pair, besides the 9 half-century stands they have. And they batted together 61 innings. Amazing performance.
Yeah, they like each other's company a lot on and off the field, Roshan. And it shows. The way they bat, the kind of understanding they have. But it's good to see Rahul. We lost Rohit Sharma, an attractive player, has been replaced by another one. Very easy on the eye. It's good to see a short leg being placed for KL Rahul. Didn't pick him.
That looked the wrong one. Tends to mix it up. Yes, it was. Just spinning down the leg side. The short leg in, slip in. Dhananjay, of course, is more an off spinner, but he seemed to be bowling more leg breaks here. Rahul off the mark.
He's bowled well. His analysis might not show that into his third over, 19 runs, but he's bowled some very good deliveries.
So it's 110 for 1.
Nice bowling.
Click what you love, love what you see. Click, click, click. So much to do. Go on and on with the longer life. So much to
Panasonic Aluga A3 and A3 Pro. So much to do.
So much to do.
पेश है नेरोलैक एक्सेल माइका मार्बल, जो पेंट को बनाए टफ और उसकी शान बनाए रखे सालों साल.
Nerolac.
Come in that position and see him not even padded up, Roshan. Those are the changes or the flexibilities and permutation combinations he's been talking about, giving all the players ample opportunity.
So look at where the game stands. Yes, I did hear him say that his plan was to kind of allow players to look at different options, different situations. Now, this is going to be an issue for Sri Lanka. They've got in a new batsman, they've got an opportunity, they've opened up one end, and they're bowling a part-timer, Ilinda Sirivardhana.
Who would they go to?
That's the question. Ideally, I would have thought Lasith Malinga, with all his experience over 200 games, should have put that experience to good use.
Vishwa Fernando was also an option. He bowled well in the test matches. He's not bowled very poorly for him to be replaced just after 2 overs. Chamira went for quite a few. He was persisted with even after the first 2 overs.
So this is definitely an issue for Sri Lanka. They need to try and look at getting wickets here. In the air. Oh, what a catch that is. That's an outstanding catch. And the part-timer we were talking about, Milinda Sirivardhana, he's got Shikhar Dhawan for 49. What an outstanding catch that was.
Yeah, a bit of bounce.
Play that
sweep shot really well, but look at that. Angelo Matthews leaping to his right and coming up with an absolute stunner. Sirivardhana getting his first wicket. Shikhar Dhawan has to go for 49. It's 1-1-3 for 2.
For years, we've marched as one. We've stuck together through ups and downs, and through twists and turns. We keep the tradition alive.
हाथी मत पालो. Dominar 400. Go. Hyper riding.
Get sharper pictures and quicker focus with the all-new Panasonic Eluga A3 and A3 Pro.
So much to do.
So much to do.
So Shikhar Dhawan being dismissed for 49, missing that record where he could have got that 7th consecutive half century against Sri Lanka in ODI cricket. What a run he's had. He struck a purple patch, I can tell you. But Sri Lanka have got 2 quick wickets.
And one from your part-timer.
Doesn't matter, Karthik. Someone has to do it. Sirivardhana has provided it. Another look. Take a look at this catch. Take a look at this catch. What an outstanding catch. Oh, this is sliced. Might be taken in the... Oh, should have attacked it a little bit more. That's wish for Fernando. The Sri Lankans would have wanted him to attack this.
Your part-timer would have got another wicket. Yeah, but that's the way Kedar plays. He never plays the bowler. He generally tries to stamp his authority.